Hello and welcome to King Kong Kids Story Time. Today I have two stories for you about how things came to be. The Bible tells us that God created everything, but not everyone had the Bible, so they made up stories about how things came to be. The first one is from a book called Tales from Silver Lands, all stories from South America. And the story I'm going to read you today is called The Hummingbird and the Flower. Good morning, pretty flower. Good morning, little hummingbird. May I have some honey, please? Certainly. Here is plenty. Help yourself. Thank you. It is very good of you. Is there anything I can do for you in return? Well, I hear so little, seeing that I do not go abroad, that I love to be told things. I wish that you would tell me how you came to have so beautiful a dress. I have often wondered as I saw you flashing past. Have you indeed? Well, let me think. I believe I have heard that it was because of a mouse that I have it. A mouse? How can that be, busy little colibri? A mouse, you know, is dull and gray. Then, Florecia, if it was not a mouse, it was mud. My dear hummingbird, you must be wrong. You know as well as I do that mud is dull and gray. Won't you stop your humming a moment and think? Ah, now I know. It was because of a panther. Dear, dear colibri, that is worse still. A panther, did you say? I must have heard it wrong. Isn't that right either? Well, it must have been all three. The mouse, the mud, and the panther. So, there now. But how sweet this honey is. Indeed, I am glad that you find it so, but please tell me about your pretty dress. Oh, yes, I forgot, thinking of the honey. One has so much to think of. I remember now perfectly well. It was Paloma, the dove, who told me all about it yesterday. But a day and a night is a very, very long time to remember a long tale. Then tell me before you forget. Well, once all hummingbirds were gray. So I have heard. Well, a big panther was going through the woods very quietly, and he stepped on a mouse nest and happened to kill all the baby mice. Dear me, I am sorry to hear that. So, when the mother mouse came to her home and saw what had happened, she was very much annoyed, saying that the panther was too big and too clumsy and did not look where he was going. Well, colibri, she would be annoyed. You know, I have often thought how nice it would be if mice and panthers and all creatures did not move about as they do. They run about so, and they jump, and they skip, and it is no wonder that things happen. Suppose trees and flowers and bushes were as restless as animals. Think how it would be with great trees treading on little flowers and thorn bushes running about and tearing down the gentle flores del air and scratching the tender skins of the grapes. Now, if I were queen, I would make a law so that all those forest creatures that run on four legs should just stand and grow as we do. And please do not interrupt, or I may forget the tale. Oh, I beg your pardon. Go on, please. Well, of course, the panther told the mother mouse how it had happened and said that he was sorry and that he would be more careful. But she scolded him and kept it in her heart to punish him. But, little colibri, if he said that he was sorry and that it could not be helped, then it seems to me, really, little flower, you must listen. You have no idea how difficult it is to tell a tale. So, please, do not interrupt. One day, when the panther was asleep, the mouse crept up with some gum which she had taken from the tree and sealed up the panther's eyes. Then she took mud from the laguna and plastered it over the gum, and then more gum and more mud, so that the panther could not tell day from night. Dear me, that was very unkind and very dreadful. I am as sorry for the panther as I am for the mother mouse. Well, anyway, that just proves that it was a mouse and a panther and mud, just as I said. But, dear Hummingbird, how about the dress of many colors? Oh, I'm coming to that, but you interrupt so. The panther roared and roared and roared until the very softest of his roars shook the esteros, and the alligators were frightened and dived to the bottom of the water. Hearing all that noise, a hummingbird asked the panther what the noise was all about. Oh, that was very good of the hummingbird. And what did the panther say? He told the hummingbird all about it and asked him to kill the mouse. But that the hummingbird would not do. Of course not. I never killed a mouse. So then the panther said that if the hummingbird would take away the gum and the mud so that he could see again, he would do anything that he could in return. You see, little flower, the panther is wise because he travels so much, and all things that travel know a great deal. I'm not so sure of that, Colibri. All this summer I have traveled up this tree and have gone a great distance, but I know very little. Oh, that is different. No one wants a flower to be wise. To be beautiful is enough. Oh, but please listen and do not talk so much. I'm very sorry that I interrupted you, little hummingbird. Well, the hummingbird told the panther that she wished to have a beautiful dress, as beautiful as the dress of the sunbird, and asked him to tell her where she could get bright colors. Then, before the panther answered, she asked him to tell her how the lianas got the yellow and red and purple for their blossoms. Oh, this is the most interesting thing I have ever heard, and I hope the tale will not be short. Did the panther know? Of course he knew. He told her that the flowers got their color from the earth. And he also told her where there was clay of many colors and where there were gold and silver and rubies. So the hummingbird picked and picked until the panther's eyes were unsealed, and the big fellow gave a roar of gladness. All that day, panther and hummingbird worked bringing colored clay and colored sands and silver and gold and rubies and opals, and the blue and crimson of sunset, and the silver of the moon and the stars, and the tender green of shady forests, and the blackness of ebony. Out of all these the hummingbird dressed herself, and for misty moving wings she took the spun silk of the spider and the soft thread of the sumaha. And that is how the hummingbird got her dress. There now. I'm glad to know that, dear hummingbird, and I thank you for telling me. And I, dear flower, thank you for the honey. Goodbye then, if you must go. Goodbye, Floracia. Bzzz.